The world is not designed for your sanity. It is designed for your participation. You know that specific wave of relief, the moment the door clicks shut and the world simply stops. Most people call this being a homebody. Society calls it boring, but they are missing the system. Your home is not just a building. It is a high-performance biological charging station. And if you feel guilty for staying inside, you are misdiagnosing a survival mechanism as a personality flaw. Every time you step outside, you are performing a data-heavy task. Your brain is scanning for threats, interpreting social cues, and managing reward prediction errors. It is exhausting, but there is a predictable decay function to your willpower. By the second week of February, 80% of people abandon their goals. Why? Because they tried to build a new life in an environment they couldn't control. In this transmission, we are deconstructing the architecture of solitude. We will uncover why your brain craves prospect and refuge, how defined zones act as external RAM for your focus, and why curated stimulation is the only way to prevent a total system crash. Most people think the problem is their motivation, but the real problem is the space around them. And in a moment, you'll see exactly why. 1. The survival echo. Your nervous system is an ancient piece of hardware. It doesn't know you live in a modern apartment. It still thinks it's on the Savanna. In 1975, geographer J. Appleton identified a fundamental human need: prospect and refuge. Prospect is the ability to see opportunity or threat. Refuge is the safety of not being seen. This is why you gravitate toward the window seat in a cafe, or why a cozy corner nook feels right. It's not just cozy, it's a survival signal. When you are in a public space, your refuge is 0. Your brain stays in a low-level hyper-vigilance. You are scanning the room. You are tracking the person walking behind you. This is a background process that never stops. But at home, the refuge is 100%. The knock at the door is the only variable. When your brain realizes it is unseen, it finally allows the nervous system to switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Architects like Luis Barragan understood this. He built houses that looked like fortresses from the outside, blank walls, no distractions, but inside, light, gardens, water. He called it emotional architecture. He wasn't building rooms. He was building a system for serenity. He knew that before you can be creative, you must feel unobserved. But here's the strange part. If home is so safe, why do we sometimes feel so stressed inside of it? The answer lies in how you've blurred the lines. 2. The cognitive load of blurred lines. Your brain is an association machine. It links space to action. When you work where you eat or sleep where you scroll, you are creating environmental friction. This is cognitive load. Every item in your peripheral vision is a tiny, nagging signal. The laptop on the nightstand whispers, "You aren't done yet." The dishes on the desk whisper, "You are falling behind." Studies show a direct link between cluttered, undefined spaces and higher cortisol levels. Your brain is working overtime just to filter out the noise of your own home. You need defined zones. Even in a tiny studio apartment, you can create psychological borders. A rug isn't just a piece of fabric. It is a landing zone for a specific mental state. When you cross that line, the brain switches its operating mode. This reduces transition friction. You don't have to try to focus. The environment commands the focus. Barragan used subtle shifts, a change in floor texture, a splash of pink on a wall. He was programming the inhabitant's mind. This room is for reflection. This room is for transit. This room is for life. By curating these zones, you stop dreaming about work and start working during your dreams. But there is a final layer to this architecture, and it's the reason why the world outside feels so increasingly heavy. 3. The sensory sovereignty. The modern world is an uncurated stimulation nightmare. You are a victim of someone else's sensory choices. The store's music, the street glare, the crowd's smell. Your home is your only domain of sensory sovereignty. You are the conductor of this symphony. For people with high sensitivity or anxiety, this isn't a luxury. It is sensory dieting. You are dialing down the input so your processor can finally handle the backlog of thoughts. Bringing in biophilic elements, wood, stone, plants, is not just an aesthetic trend, it is a grounding protocol. It tells your ancient brain, we are back at the edge of the woods, we are safe. But here's where the system often breaks. Society romanticizes being out there, the influencers, the party reels, the live your best life noise. If you stay home, you are missing out. But what if you're not missing out? What if you are opting in to a higher resolution of life? People who enjoy solitude tend to be more creative and better at problem solving. Why? Because they have the quiet room required to think. The best ideas are not born in a crowded bar. They are born in the thought spiral at 2 a.m. in a room you control. But we must be careful. There is a shadow side to the sanctuary, and if you don't understand the difference, your home will stop being a refuge and start being a cage. So how do we optimize this system for 2026? Instead of fighting your desire to stay in, redesign the environment to make it your superpower. Step 1. The prospect audit. Position your favorite spot so you can see the entrance or the outside world. This lowers your background hypervigilance immediately. Step 2. The 2-minute zone. Define one area, even just a chair, where digital noise is prohibited. No phone, no laptop. Make it a deep processing zone. Step 3. The sensory diet. Stop using unnatural stimulation. Use warm light. Use brown noise. Use textures that don't itch. Program your home to tell your body, the hunt is over. You can rest now. Your home is not just a place to store your things. It is the external hardware of your mind. When you optimize the space, you optimize the self. We build our nests so that we have the strength to fly, not because we are afraid of the sky. If this helped you see your sanctuary more clearly, consider subscribing to Coudless. We explain the systems so you can master the life. Go execute. System offline.